You ever notice how people get right before they're about to say something that could flip their whole world upside down? There's this twitch in their smile, this tremble in their voice, like they're standing on the edge of a rooftop and trying to decide whether they're brave enough to lean forward. That's what's happening around you right now. Someone out there is pacing in circles inside their own mind, rehearsing the words they've swallowed for far too long. They're playing out the scene, what they'll say, how you'll react, whether you'll smile, laugh, run, or freeze. Their heart is doing somersaults. Their thoughts are tripping over each other, and their hands are probably shaking just thinking about it. Standing in front of you, you ever notice how love makes people behave in ways that are both ridiculous and terrifying at the same time? It's like a chemical explosion in their brain. A storm brewing behind calm eyes. People who walk around acting confident, composed, like they've got everything under control, suddenly find themselves trembling over the smallest thought. Their palms sweat, their hearts slam against their ribs, and their voice catches in a way that's almost painful to watch. Because love is dangerous. Not dangerous in a literal sense. Oh no, it's far worse. It's dangerous because it strips you down, exposes your fear, your hope, your obsession all at once. It makes you human in ways people rarely admit to themselves. And right now, someone near you is standing on that edge. They've rehearsed their confession 100 times in their head, each scenario more terrifying than the last, wondering if the words will come out the way they've imagined, if you'll smile, if you'll laugh, if you'll look at them with the coldness of indifference or the warmth of recognition. It's almost comical when you watch them, not because the situation is funny, no, that would be cruel, but because humans are absurd creatures when caught between desire and fear. They tiptoe around you. They overanalyze every glance, every syllable, every gesture, though your smallest reaction will reveal the fate of their entire world. They read into your tone, your laughter, your sighs, like an amateur detective piecing together clues in a case that matters more than anything else in their lives. And the irony is deliciously cruel, because you may not even notice. You could be walking through your day, oblivious, while someone's entire being is vibrating with tension, the energy so thick it practically scratches the air. And you're completely unaware that someone is about to risk everything just for the possibility of being seen, being known, being loved. And that's the real thing about love, isn't it? It's reckless. It's impatient. It makes people act against every instinct they've ever had. A person in love will betray their pride, their comfort, their sense of control, all because they're terrified of losing the chance to say the words. They'll stumble over themselves, trip over their own courage, and still, somehow, they'll press forward, driven by a force they barely understand themselves. It's glorious and tragic at the same time. Every gesture, every pause, every awkward laugh is a testament to the raw chaos of emotion. They're not just confessing love, they're confessing the entirety of their vulnerability, put it on the table like a raw nerve exposed to the world and hoping it doesn't get crushed. And they've been waiting. They've been waiting for the right moment, the right context, the right set of eyes, the right chance to make their heart visible without shattering it entirely. Every missed opportunity has carved out a little more anxiety, a little more obsession, a little more frantic rehearsal in the mirror. They've written the confession in their mind like a script, gone over the dialogue 100 times, trying to anticipate every possible reaction, every laugh, every tear, every pause you might give them. They've timed it, rehearsed it, perfected it in private, while the chaos of their own thoughts threatens to betray them at any moment. They're terrified of rejection, yes, but they're even more terrified of staying silent, letting the chance slip like sand through their fingers, knowing they'll carry that regret with them for far longer than any embarrassment or heartache from the confession itself. And isn't that the cruel brilliance of it all? That fear and hope coexist, tangled together like some impossible knot. That someone is so close to revealing their heart, trembling under the weight of everything they've been hiding, and the entire outcome rests on a single breath, a single word, a single look. They are alive in a way that is raw, unpolished, and utterly beautiful, standing on the edge of their own vulnerability, and they can't take it back once it's out. They can't erase the truth of what they're feeling, not really. All they can do is risk it, let it tumble into the air and hope. Hope that it lands softly, hope that it lands in your hands, and hope that it doesn't break apart before it reaches you. You ever notice how confession is a game everyone's afraid to play? Even when the stakes are nothing less than everything, there's a strange, delicious tension in watching someone wrestle with the words trapped in their throat, like a bird pacing a cage, desperate to fly, but afraid the wind will betray it. They've rehearsed it, of course. Every line, every pause, every syllable has been meticulously planned, timed, in the quiet corners of their mind while the world moves on, oblivious. And yet, rehearsal only makes the fear sharper, because every imagined outcome comes with risk. Every scenario is a possible disaster. Will you laugh? Will you recoil? Will you look at them differently? Or worse, look away, indifferent? That's the gamble. That's the chaos. That's what makes the heart pound faster than reason, faster than logic, faster than courage itself. And they're standing. They're trembling in the shows of their own uncertainty, knowing the moment of truth is the one thing that can't be undone, can't be rehearsed, can't be controlled. Love has a way of making even the calmest people absurd. The ones who talk with precision, who laugh without hesitation, who walk with measured steps, suddenly become a bundle of contradiction. Their hands shake when they try to reach for something simple. Their voice cracks when they attempt a casual greeting. Their mind spins with the consequences of revealing the one thing they've carried in silence. It's a beautiful kind of madness, this nervous chaos, and it's invisible to everyone except the one person whose opinion matters more than air, more than survival, more than sanity. They're holding their secret like it's a fragile animal, afraid to let it out, afraid it will fly away, afraid it will attack, if mishandled. And all the while, every glance you give, every smile you share, every word you casually drop is another tick in the clock, another push toward a moment that will either explode in beauty or implode in despair. And it's fascinating, really, how people overthink it. They imagine every possible reaction you could have, and then they imagine reaction to those reactions spiraling down a rabbit hole of potential catastrophe. They wonder what you'll feel, what you'll say, how your eyes might change, what silence from you would mean. They analyze the way you tilt your head, the way you breathe, the way you gesture, looking for signs that the confession will be met with acceptance or rejection. Every small detail becomes a map, a clue, a key to unlocking the door they've been too afraid to approach. And the irony is delicious, because you might not even be aware, strolling through your day, complete blind to the storm brewing in the heart of someone standing right in front of you. And yet, the fear of silence is stronger than the fear of rejection, because staying quiet is a slow death for their courage, a poison that seeps into every moment they share with you, every interaction, every laugh, every conversation. Silence is safe in the moment, yes, but it builds tension, layer upon layer, until it becomes unbearable, until it presses like a fist against their chest, until they can no longer contain it. That's why they're about to speak. That's why the confession is inevitable. The truth has a way of clawing its way out, relentless, impatient, incapable of restraint. The longer they wait, the more chaotic it becomes. The louder it screams inside them, the more impossible it is to ignore. And then there's the thrill of the unknown. They don't know what will happen when the words finally escape, when the barrier of silence shatters. Will you smile, or will you frown? Will you take it gently, or will you stumble over disbelief? Will you reciprocate, or will you recoil? The uncertainty is a cocktail of terror and ecstasy, a dangerous concoction that makes the pulse race and the palms sweat and the stomach twist in knots. It's intoxicating and terrifying in equal measure, because in that moment, everything hangs by a thread: their dignity, their hope, their heart, and yet the thread feels impossibly fragile, stretched to its limit, quivering under the weight of what's about to happen. They are standing there now, at the edge of their fear and desire, trembling between hesitation and action, their whole being vibrating with the risk and the beauty of what they are about to say. Every heartbeat is a drum counting down to revelation, every breath a whisper of courage, Every glance toward you a gamble in the theater of the human soul. And they know there's no turning back once the words fall. The truth will land. The silence will end. The moment will arrive. And the question of what comes next hangs in the air, electric, unpredictable, alive. You ever notice how anticipation can twist a person into someone unrecognizable? It's the quiet storm behind the eyes, the jitter in the hands, the way the throat tightens like a noose around the words they've been rehearsing for weeks. They walk among people pretending nothing is happening. But inside, their heart is performing acrobatics it wasn't trained for. Every glance in your direction feels like both salvation and destruction. Every casual laugh becomes a threat or a promise. And every word you speak is dissected, weighed, measured against the confession they've been clutching in secret. Love makes people reckless. It makes them tremble. It makes them spin in circles, endlessly analyzing, endlessly doubting, endlessly hoping that the moment they finally reveal themselves won't shatter everything. They've imagined this moment countless times. In one scenario, you lean forward, smile warm and bright, and the world tilts on its axis in perfect harmony. In another, you recoil, eyes wide, hands frozen, and they crumble, wishing they could rewind, erase the words before they ever reached your ears. They've practiced in the mirror, whispered into pillows, written and deleted messages 100 times, each variation carefully tuned to avoid catastrophe. And yet, rehearsal never quiets the fear. It sharpens it, hones it into a blade they carry into every interaction, every fleeting moment of proximity with you. Because love is a gamble, and the stakes are always higher than anyone admits. The risk isn't just rejection. It's vulnerability, it's exposure, it's bearing a soul they've spent years locking away. Every small gesture they make is heavy with meaning. The way their hands linger too long on a doorknob, the way their gaze flickers toward you and then darts away, the way their voice hesitates just enough to betray the chaos inside. They are communicating without speaking, without courage, and yet the truth is there. Impossible to hide entirely. You might not notice it, and that's part of the tension, the delicious cruelty of it. They are performing a high-wire act without a net, and the audience is blind, unaware that every moment is a tightrope stretched over a pit of fear, longing, and hope. And isn't that the beauty of it, that this trembling, overthinking, chaotic energy can exist in someone you pass by every day and never suspect? That beneath the surface of composure lies an entire world of yearning, a storm of possibility waiting for the right spark to ignite it. They've been rehearsing courage in private, shaping it with obsession, tempering it with doubt, and now the spark is near, the edge is in sight, the moment of truth is almost here. And every heartbeat counts like a drum roll in a theater where only they know the stakes. They're terrified of what will happen when the words escape, terrified of ridicule, of disbelief, of silence, of the subtle shrug that could annihilate everything they've built in their mind. But even more terrifying is the thought of staying silent, of letting the opportunity slip through their fingers, leaving them with nothing but regret and the echo of what could have been. That's the cruel twist of love's confession. The fear of failure is matched only by the fear of not trying, and they balance on that knife's edge, teetering between hesitation and action, aware that the tiniest misstep could alter everything forever. And yet, in the chaos of nerves and trembling anticipation, there's beauty. Raw, untamed beauty. Because every nervous glance, every swallowed word, every hurried breath is a testament to the bravery of revealing the heart. They are exposing themselves, raw and unfiltered, standing at the precipice of vulnerability in a way few humans ever dare. It's messy, it's terrifying, it's reckless, and it's magnificent. Every nerve ending screams with the tension of the imminent confession, and they feel alive in a way that only comes from risking everything for the chance of being truly seen, truly understood, truly loved. They are inches from surrender, teetering between fear and hope, trembling on the edge of revelation. Every breath a countdown, every pulse a drumbeat, every glance toward you a gamble that could either destroy or create a universe entirely new, entirely theirs. Entirely impossible to retract once the words leave their lips. You ever notice how fear and hope can twist together until you can't tell where one ends and the other begins? That's exactly where someone stands right now, trembling just a little too much, rehearsing the confession they've held in their chest for far too long. It's a dangerous cocktail, really, the heart pounding, the palms sweating, the mind racing 1,000 directions at once, all while trying to convince themselves that the world will stay in place if they speak, that nothing will break, that love is just a word waiting for the right moment to slip out perfectly. But life, oh, life doesn't work that way. Timing is never perfect. Words never fall exactly where you hope, and courage is rarely found in the places you look. And yet they're standing there, teetering on the edge of action and hesitation, because silence has a louder scream than any admission could ever make. You can see it in the way they move if you look closely. Not dramatic, not exaggerated, subtle as a twitch or a hesitation, but their body betrays them in 1,000 tiny ways. The way their gaze drifts to yours and snaps away, the way their hands fidget with invisible objects, the way their breathing hitches just when they think they're composed. They've rehearsed the moment. Yes, every word, every pause, every inflection, but rehearsal can't tame the chaos that lives inside when the heart decides to take over. The pulse doesn't listen to logic. The stomach doesn't care about timing. The hands, those traitorous instruments, betray every carefully constructed thought. And isn't it fascinating? The person you walk past every day, the one who seems calm, rational, collected, is secretly a storm contained, a volcano on the brink of eruption, all because the truth of their feelings can no longer be ignored. It's almost cruel the way love forces people into recklessness. They can't calculate it. They can't negotiate it. They can't hide from it forever. Every glance you give, every word you speak, every laugh that escapes your lips becomes a trigger, a push toward the edge. They've been measuring reactions like a scientist with a delicate experiment, hoping nothing will break. But the truth isn't delicate. It's messy. It's loud. It claws at the mind, gnaws at the chest, presses against the ribs until the person can no longer pretend it isn't there. And that's the tragedy and beauty of it. You can hold your heart in your hands, shield it with all your cleverness, distract the world with humor, with composure, with timing, and still, the truth finds a way to escape, impatient, demanding, relentless. Every thought in your head is a battlefield. They imagine the confession landing perfectly, a burst of relief and joy that validates every sleepless night, every whispered rehearsal, every fluttering heartbeat. But they also imagine failure, the faintest shrug, the smallest hesitation, a look of surprise that quickly becomes indifference, a momentary silence that echoes like a guillotine. And in that duality they tremble, unable to decide if they are more terrified of rejection or regret. Silence, they realize, has become a heavier burden than risk. Keeping the truth locked away might feel safe, but it grows sharp edges, cuts at the soul, presses deeper each day until the only way to survive it is to release it, to fling it out into the air and hope it doesn't shatter in someone else's hands. And yet, the beauty lies in the risk. In that trembling, terrified form there is courage, real, raw, untamed courage that can't be faked or rehearsed. They are about to expose themselves, their desires, their vulnerability, in the hope that someone else will catch it, cradle it, respond in kind. Every tremor, every twitch, every skipped heartbeat is a testament to bravery, because it's easier to hide forever than to risk revelation. And the longer they wait, the more time passes, the more desperate the anticipation becomes, until it is no longer just their secret, but a storm pressing against the very air, pushing them forward, demanding release. Every glance toward you is electric, charged with unspoken possibility. Every breath they draw counts like a drumbeat, counting down the seconds until confession. Their entire being hums with tension, vibrating between fear and hope, disaster and ecstasy, silence and release. They have rehearsed courage in private. They have measured restraint. They have prepared for every contingency, and yet the human heart cannot be fully tamed. It demands reckoning, and the reckoning is imminent, unavoidable, alive, waiting to fall from their lips a spark threatening to ignite everything in its path. You ever notice how anticipation has this deliciously cruel way of making people feel alive and terrified all at once? It twists the stomach, sets the hands trembling, makes the throat catch on the smallest thought, the tiniest heartbeat. That's exactly where they are now, someone standing just out of sight, rehearsing the words they've been holding back for so long that they've almost started to believe they'll never say them. Every glance you give, every casual smile, every laugh that slips past your lips becomes a jolt, a spark, a signal that the moment is closer than it's ever been. And yet, the closer it comes, the more they falter, because they know the confession is a dangerous game. One wrong word, one awkward pause, one misread glance, and everything could shatter in an instant. They've imagined the scene countless times. They've walked through it in their head until the scenarios are etched into their bones. The perfect delivery, the exact words, the timing, the cadence. And they've imagined failure too. Oh yes, failure has a way of creeping in, gnawing at their confidence, whispering that you'll recoil, that you'll laugh, that you'll look at them differently, that the universe might tilt just enough to make the confession crumble before it reaches your ears. It's a delicious cruelty, isn't it? That fear and hope can intertwine so perfectly that every heartbeat becomes a countdown, every breath a gamble, every glance toward you a loaded question. And they are walking that tightrope without a net, teetering between revelation and disaster. And the beauty of it, the absolute chaotic beauty, is how love does this. It strips people of their carefulness, their composure, their rehearsed poise. Suddenly, the person who walks with measured steps, who speaks in calm, steady tones, who has everything under control, becomes a mess of nerves and trembling, a creature of chaos masquerading as civility. The hands that were once steady fidget now, the voice that was smooth cracks, the gaze that was confident flits nervously, catching on things that don't matter to anyone but them. And you wouldn't notice, of course. You walk through your life thinking it's normal, blissfully unaware of the storm gathering just a few feet away, a storm ready to explode with words that could change everything. They're terrified, yes, but not just of rejection. They're terrified of staying silent. Silence has its own weight, its own cruelty. Every day they wait, every second they hesitate, the burden grows heavier, gnaws deeper, poisons the air around them with the tension of what's unspoken. It presses on their chest, clogs their breath, tangles in their thoughts. Silence becomes louder than words, more painful than any glance of indifference, sharper than the fear of rejection. And that's why they're about to speak. Because the human heart cannot be contained indefinitely. It demands release. And the release, when it finally comes, is electric, terrifying, magnificent. Every small gesture is loaded with meaning. Every glance in your direction, every pause, every nervous laugh, every twitch betrays what they've tried to hide. It's a subtle language of desire and fear, one that speaks louder than words could, even before they dare to open their mouth. And while they are trembling under its weight, there is courage there. Real courage. The kind that doesn't come from planning or preparation, but from raw vulnerability, from standing on the edge and knowing that one step forward could break everything or build everything anew. And the chaos, the exquisite chaos, is that they don't know how it will land. They can't predict your reaction. They can only hope, pray, tremble, and risk it all. Their pulse is a drumbeat counting down to confession, their breath tight with anticipation, their entire being alive with the electric current of possibility and disaster. They've rehearsed, calculated, measured, and still the human heart cannot be tamed. It will leap, it will cry, it will demand release, and the moment of truth approaches. Unstoppable, inevitable, alive, ready to collide with everything. In its path, you ever notice how people carry secrets like they're holding a live wire, afraid to drop it, but terrified of the shock it might deliver? That's exactly where they are now, trembling on the edge, the confession they've been holding in their chest, pressing down on every nerve, every thought, every heartbeat. It's funny, in a cruel kind of way, How love can make someone both the most careful and the most reckless creature at the same time. Their hands fidget, their pulse races, their mind spins with scenarios, each more terrifying and more exhilarating than the last. And every glance you give, every word you speak, every careless laugh, fuels the storm inside them. They're rehearsing courage in private while pretending to be composed in public, because the world doesn't care about trembling hearts. It only notices the surface, the act, the mask. They've imagined this moment endlessly. The perfect line, the perfect timing, the perfect reaction. And then they imagine failure, your indifference, your surprise, your confusion. And even imagining the failure makes their stomach twist, makes their hands sweat, makes their mind whirl in chaos. And yet, they can't stop. The silence has grown unbearable. The longer they wait, the heavier the secret becomes, pressing on their chest like a weight that will not relent, gnawing at their thoughts, gnawing at their courage, gnawing at their very soul. Silence is a poison sweeter than confession because it allows fear to breathe unchecked, and the mind to spiral, and the heart to ache without relief. That's why the confession is inevitable. The human heart cannot endure that much restraint without snapping, without exploding, without demanding release. And there's a certain madness in it, isn't there? The madness that makes a person so acutely aware of every detail, every nuance, every tiny flicker of your expression. They notice the way you tilt your head, the way your eyes catch the light, the way you laugh at things that might not even be funny. And they read it all as signs, signals, subtle encouragements, or silent rejection. They analyze your every gesture, building maps of meaning in their mind, trying to navigate the path toward confession without tripping, without falling, without shattering the fragile hope they've built up over countless days, countless moments, countless rehearsals in mirrors and pillows and whispered soliloquies. But fear is persistent. Fear gnaws, fear whispers, fear twists itself into knots around every thought of courage. They are terrified of what will happen when the words finally leave their lips. They are terrified of laughter, of indifference, of silence, of a look that could flatten everything they've been building. And yet, they are more terrified of remaining silent, of never revealing the truth, of letting the chance slip away, of letting regret fester until it becomes unbearable. That's the cruel beauty of love. It forces the heart to risk everything for the possibility of connection, for the possibility of being understood, for the possibility of being returned. And so they stand there, trembling, poised on the precipice of revelation. Every movement, every breath, every glance toward you is a tightrope stretched over chaos. Every heartbeat a drumbeat counting down to confession. They're a storm contained in a fragile body, an eruption waiting to be unleashed, a truth that refuses to be denied any longer. And in that trembling, in that chaos, in that raw vulnerability, there is courage, real courage. Not the polished, rehearsed kind, not the calculated kind, but the kind that emerges when fear is at its peak, when the heart refuses to be silenced, when love demands expression regardless of the consequences. Every inch closer, every second passed, every word held back becomes more electric, more combustible, more alive. The anticipation twists through their mind like a wire sparking in the dark until it can't be contained. They are alive in ways they weren't moments ago, trembling on the edge between hope and fear, disaster and delight, hesitation and action. And the words, they are coming. The confession is inevitable, unstoppable, impossible to ignore, ready to collide with everything in its path, shaking the foundations of their carefully constructed silence, demanding to be heard, demanding to be acknowledged, demanding to be felt. You ever notice how love has this cruel habit of turning even the strongest, most controlled person into a mess of nerves and chaos? That's exactly where they are now. Trembling, pacing, rehearsing, heart hammering like a drum in a war they can't win or lose. Every glance you give, every word you speak, every laugh that slips past your lips becomes a spark, igniting the storm inside them. And they feel it crawling up their chest, twisting their stomach, setting fire to their hands, their throat, their mind. They've been holding this confession for so long that it's become almost unbearable, pressing on every nerve, threatening to explode whether they're ready or not, whether the world is ready or not. The irony is delicious, isn't it? They stand there poised on the edge, rehearsed courage in their bones, trembling under the weight of the truth they can't contain any longer. They've imagined the moment countless times, in quiet corners, under sheets, staring at mirrors, whispering into pillows, tracing every word in their mind over and over. In some scenarios, it plays out perfectly. You look at them with that warmth, that spark, and their world tilts into perfect balance. In others, the worst unfolds, your indifference, your confusion, your laughter at a moment that is sacred to them. And they feel the universe tilt, just enough to crush the fragile hope they've built. The rehearsal never quiets the fear. It sharpens it, hones it into a knife that presses into every pulse, every breath, every tremor in their body. Every heartbeat is a countdown. Every glance toward you a loaded gamble. Every breath a risk. And isn't it fascinating, the absurdity of human courage? The way someone can plan, prepare, rehearse, anticipate, and still feel like a trembling fool because the heart refuses to be tamed, refuses to listen to logic, refuses to wait for the perfect moment that will never come. They are acutely aware of every detail, the way you tilt your head, the way your eyes linger on something else and then dart back, the cadence of your laughter, the inflection in your voice. Every nuance becomes a map, a clue, a signpost guiding them closer or pushing them further away. They dissect you like a scientist, analyzing every reaction, weighing every possibility, calculating outcomes in a desperate attempt to survive the chaos that comes with confession. And yet fear doesn't give them mercy. Fear gnaws, whispers, coils around every thought, twisting courage into panic, hope into obsession. They are terrified of what happens if they speak. Will you laugh, recoil, shrug, stare blankly? Will the words land gently, or will they crash, shatter, destroy? But fear is matched, and even surpassed, by something stronger, the fear of remaining silent. Because silence has a weight, a poison that grows heavier with every day, every moment, every glance that goes unacknowledged. To stay quiet is to let desire rot in the chest, to let hope fester, twist, to let life pass by like a thief while you cling to nothing. The only way out is risk. The only way to survive is to speak. And here's the brilliance of it. In that trembling, in that chaos, in that ridiculous, terrifying, beautiful mess of nerves, there is courage, not rehearsed, not polished, not perfect, but raw, unfiltered, reckless courage. Every tremor, every twitch, every swallowed word is proof that the human heart refuses to be silent forever. They're exposing themselves, bearing vulnerability like a blade, standing on the precipice of disaster and ecstasy at the same time. Every inch closer to the moment of confession electrifies them, make every nerve sing, every pulse race, every breath shallow and urgent. The anticipation has become a living thing inside them, crawling, twisting, pressing, demanding release. Every glance you give, every casual interaction, every whispered word draws it tighter, coiling around their courage until it can no longer be contained. And the thrill, the sheer madness of it is that they don't know what happens next. They can only step forward, trembling, poised, alive in a way that only comes from risking everything for the chance to be seen, understood, and loved. Their heartbeat is a drum counting down to confession, every breath a spark in a fuse, every thought a swirl of terror and hope. Every glance toward you a gamble, with stakes higher than life itself. They are at the edge. Every part of them vibrates with possibility and chaos. The words are ready to escape. The secret can no longer be held. The storm is there, alive, dangerous, magnificent, trembling in their chest, desperate to collide with the world, desperate to fall into your hands, desperate to be acknowledged, desperate to exist beyond the silence that has held it captive for far too long. You ever notice how right before something big happens, everything starts falling apart? Oh, it's funny, really. One day you're surrounded by people, feeling like you've got it all figured out, and the next, poof, silence. People disappear. Opportunities dry up. The phone stops ringing. And you're left wondering, what the hell just happened? You ever notice how people take it personally when life starts pulling things away? Oh, They get offended. They feel betrayed, like life just slapped them across the face and laughed about it. Why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? Oh, the self-pity, the desperation, the begging to bring things back to how they were. But here's the thing, maybe it's not about what's being taken. Maybe it's about where you're being pushed. See, people like comfort. Oh, they love comfort. They love knowing what's next. They love predictable routines. They love their little circles, their little plans, their perfect little world. But growth? Oh, growth hates comfort. Change destroys predictability. And life, oh life, has this funny way of making sure you don't get too cozy when you're meant for something more. So what does it do? It starts ripping things away. Suddenly the people you counted on aren't there anymore. The opportunities you thought were yours just vanish. And it's not subtle. No. Life doesn't whisper when it's time to move. It shouts. And it shouts by removing everything that keeps you standing in the same place. Now most people, they don't see it like that. No. They see loss. They see failure. They see abandonment. Why is life so unfair? Why does this always happen to me? But that's the joke, isn't it? It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. Oh, but you don't see it yet. You're too busy trying to glue the broken pieces back together, too busy chasing after what's already gone. And while you're crying over what left, you don't even notice where you're being led. You ever watch someone try to force something that's already dead? Oh, it's tragic, really. Trying to fix friendships that were meant to end, trying to hold on to jobs that are suffocating them, trying to make something work that life already rejected on their behalf. But they don't get it. They think they're being loyal, think they're being persistent, think they're proving how much they care. But really? Oh, really? They're just wasting time, fighting for a door that life already closed. You see, people want to be blessed, but they don't want to be moved. They want the reward without the redirection, but sometimes life has to strip you of everything familiar, everything safe, everything you thought you needed just to get you where you're meant to be. Because left to your own choices, you'd never leave. You'd stay right where you are, sinking into the same routines, surrounded by the same people, making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And that, that's not the way forward, is it? That's just running in circles. But here's the real kicker. When life starts pulling things away, it's not random. No. It's not some cruel joke, not some meaningless test. No, it's intentional. Because some things, they can't go with you where you're headed. Some people, they'd ruin what's coming next. Some environments, they'd choke the life out of your future before it even had a chance to breathe. So life makes the choice for you. It moves things out of your way, and it's not asking for your permission. But most people, they don't trust that. They don't trust that what's ahead is better than what they're leaving behind. So instead of walking forward, instead of embracing the shift, they fight it. They resist. They try to rebuild what was meant to fall apart. But all that does is make the process longer. Because no matter how much you try to drag the past into the future, life will not let you take it with you. You ever notice how people hate being alone? They'll do anything to avoid it. Noise, distractions, fake friends, meaningless conversations, anything to fill the silence. Because when it's quiet, when the world stops pulling them in a million directions, they have to sit with themselves, and that terrifies them. Oh, but life's funny, because right before something big, something real, it doesn't throw you a party, no. It doesn't gather a crowd to cheer you on. No. It isolates you. It takes you out of the noise, away from the people you thought you needed, away from the places that kept you busy but never fulfilled. And at first it feels like punishment. It feels like you've been forgotten, abandoned, left in the dark while everyone else moves forward. But maybe, just maybe, it's not punishment at all. Maybe it's preparation. You see, when you're surrounded by people, when you're wrapped up in the distractions of the world, you stop listening, you stop hearing, and most importantly, you stop seeing what's right in front of you. You ever try to hear your own thoughts in a crowded room? Near impossible, isn't it? But when the room empties, when the voices fade, that's when the real stuff starts coming to the surface. That's when the things you've been ignoring start speaking the loudest. People think isolation is cruel, but oh, it's not. It's necessary. Because when you're alone, you start to see things for what they really are. You start noticing who is really in your corner and who is just passing through. You start understanding what you actually want versus what you were just told to chase. And more than anything, you start realizing what matters. Not what looks good, not what pleases everyone else, but what actually feels right. But most people, oh, they never get there. No. The moment life gets quiet, the moment the crowd disappears, they panic, they scramble, they go back to whatever is familiar, even if it's killing them. But here's the real joke. Nothing great is ever built in the middle of chaos. No, the best things, the real things, they're built in the quiet. They're built in the moments when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is there to tell you you're doing great. Because if you can't handle silence, if you can't stand still long enough to hear what's actually going on inside you, how do you expect to handle what's coming next? Oh, people think they want big things, think they're ready for more, but they don't even know who they are outside of the noise. They've never had to sit with themselves long enough to figure it out. And that's the thing, isn't it? When life isolates you, when it strips everything down to just you, it's not being cruel, it's showing you something. It's forcing you to see what you actually have, forcing you to realize who you are without the crowd, without the validation, without the distractions. And oh, most people hate that. They hate the idea that they have to face themselves, that they have to acknowledge what's really there when all the noise is gone. But until they do, until they sit in that silence long enough to hear what it's been trying to say, oh, they'll just keep running in circles, chasing things that were never meant to last. You ever notice how people beg for something new, something better, but the moment things start falling apart, they panic? Oh, they ask for change, cry for a breakthrough, swear they're ready for more, but when life starts removing things, suddenly they're on their knees, pleading to keep what they just said they wanted to outgrow. See, that's the joke. People want the blessing, but they don't want the process. They want something bigger, but they don't want to lose what's familiar. But here's the thing, before something new can come in, the old has to go. And oh, life doesn't ask politely. No. It doesn't gently tap you on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I clear some space for what's next?" No, it rips things away. It shakes things up. It forces change whether you're ready or not. And most people, oh, they fight it. They cling to what's breaking apart. They try to resurrect things that were already dead. People act like losing things is some kind of punishment, some cruel joke life plays on them. But maybe, just maybe, it's protection. Maybe it's making room for something better. Maybe it's clearing out the things that were never meant to last. But oh, people don't see it like that, no. They see things falling apart and think, this isn't supposed to happen. I must be doing something wrong. They don't realize that sometimes things have to fall apart before they can come together in the right way. You ever try to hold on to something that was already slipping away? Oh, it's pathetic, really. Watching someone fight to keep a relationship that's clearly over. Watching them beg for a job that was never meant to be theirs. Watching them exhaust themselves, trying to fix a life that's already rearranging itself. But that's what people do. They think if they just try hard enough, if they just hold on tighter, they can stop the inevitable. But oh, life always wins. And when it decides it's time for something new, nothing you do can stop it. And here's where it gets really funny. When life starts removing things, people think it's bad news. Oh, they think it means they're losing. They don't realize that sometimes the things being taken away, they were never meant to stay. They were never going to take them where they needed to go. They were never part of the bigger picture. And life, oh, life is just doing them a favor. But they don't see it like that, no. They see loss, they see failure, they see doors slamming in their faces and assume life must have it out for them. But maybe, just maybe, life is being kind. Maybe it's shutting doors so you stop wasting time knocking on the wrong ones. Maybe it's pulling people away because they were only temporary characters in your story. Maybe it's removing things because you would have never let them go on your own. And that's the trick, isn't it? If life didn't force the change, you'd never move. You'd stay stuck. You'd hold on to the wrong things, wasting years trying to build something that was never meant to stand. Oh, but people don't trust that. No. They don't trust that what's leaving is making room for something better. They just see the empty space and panic. They try to fill it with anything. Old habits, old people, old ways of thinking, just so they don't have to sit in the discomfort of not knowing what's next. But if they only understood what was happening, if they only realized that the loss isn't the end but the beginning, they'd stop resisting. They'd stop treating endings like punishments and start seeing them for what they really are. Preparation. You ever notice how people always want a sign? Oh, they beg for it, they plead. Show me something, let me know if I'm on the right path. And then, when life actually starts showing them, when things start shifting, when people start leaving, when everything they know begins to crack, they panic. They start screaming, no, not like that. Give me a good sign. See, that's the joke. People think when something big is coming, when life is about to change, the signs will be pretty. They think they'll wake up one day, birds singing, the sun shining, with some magical feeling that tells them, oh yes, this is it. Everything is about to fall into place. But life? Oh, life doesn't work like that. No. When something big is coming, the signs don't feel good. They feel chaos. You start losing things. Opportunities you thought were guaranteed, gone. People you never imagined walking away, they vanish. Doors that were wide open, slammed shut. And suddenly, you're standing there looking around, wondering why everything is falling apart right when you thought you were supposed to be moving forward. And most people, they take that as a sign to give up. They think, this must mean it's not meant for me. This must mean I should stop trying. But maybe, just maybe, that's the moment to keep going. You ever see someone digging for gold? Oh, they dig and they dig and they dig. But what happens right before they hit it? The ground gets harder. The digging gets tougher. It starts feeling like maybe, just maybe, they're wasting their time. And a lot of people, they quit right there, right before they break through, right before they find out what was waiting for them all along. That's the trick. That's how life plays the game. Right before something big happens, it doesn't feel like you're winning. It doesn't look like you're close. No, it feels like you're being pushed back, like you're losing everything, like nothing is going the way it's supposed to. But if you knew what was coming, if you understood that all this chaos isn't meant to stop you but prepare you, you wouldn't waste time doubting it. You wouldn't waste energy trying to hold on to things that are being removed for a reason. But people, they hate uncertainty. They'd rather stay in a familiar mess than take a step into the unknown. They'd rather hold on to something broken than risk letting it go for something better. And that's why they miss it. That's why they don't see the signs for what they really are. They're too busy crying over what they lost, too busy trying to force things back to the way they were, too busy convincing themselves that things shouldn't be this hard if they were meant to happen. But nothing big comes without a shakeup. Nothing life-changing happens without something ending first. And the people who get that, the ones who don't waste time mourning the old but prepare for the new, they're the ones who make it. They're the ones who break through. Because they don't see struggle as a stop sign. They see it for what it really is. The final test. The last push. The moment when everything looks like it's falling apart, but in reality, it's all coming together. You ever notice how people want something new, but refuse to let go of the old? It's funny. They sit there, hands clenched so tight around the past, crying, "Why isn't my life changing? Why don't I have what I prayed for?" But they don't see it, do they? They don't see that their hands are too full to receive anything new. That's the joke. That's the trick life plays. Before you step into something bigger, before you get what you've been waiting for, life will test you, and it won't be some little pop quiz. No. It'll be the final exam, the real test. The one where you have to prove you're ready. And how does life do that? It takes things away. It strips you down. It forces you to let go before you even see what's coming next. And most people, they fail that test. See, people love to talk about wanting change. They'll go on and on about how they're ready for more, how they're ready for that next level, how they're tired of waiting. But the moment life starts removing things, the moment the transition begins, they panic, they cling, they beg, they fight to keep things exactly the way they are, even though the way things are isn't getting them anywhere. It's pathetic, really. watching people cry over doors that were never meant for them, watching them chase after people who already walked away, watching them desperately try to revive a life that's already shifting into something new. Oh, but that's human nature, isn't it? People hate uncertainty. They fear the unknown. They'd rather stay stuck in a situation that's killing them than step into something that has the potential to save them, just because they don't know exactly how it'll turn out. They want assurance. They want a guarantee. They want to see the whole picture before they take the first step. But that's not how it works. No. Life doesn't hand out roadmaps. It doesn't give you a play-by-play of what's coming next. It just starts making room. And making room? Oh, that's the part people hate the most. Because it means things start disappearing. That relationship you thought was solid? Gone. That job you thought you'd retire from? Over. That friend you thought would always be by your side? Nowhere to be found. And what do people do? They freak out. They act like they're being punished, like life is playing some cruel joke on them. But maybe, just maybe, it's not a punishment at all. Maybe it's the final step before the breakthrough. See, people love to say they trust that better things are coming. Oh, they'll preach about faith, they'll say all the right things until it's time to actually trust. Until things start falling apart. Until they have to walk away without knowing what's on the other side. And most people, oh, they don't have it in them. They settle, they shrink. They run back to what's comfortable, even if it's miserable, just because it's familiar. But the ones who pass the test, the ones who don't waste time trying to hold on to things that are already leaving, oh, they're the ones who get everything they've been waiting for because they understand something most people don't. You don't get to step into something bigger while holding on to something smaller. That's the choice. That's the moment. Right before life gives you what's next, it will ask you to release what's now. It will force you to walk away without proof of what's coming. It will make you uncomfortable. It will make you question everything. But if you can let go, if you can trust the process, if you can stop clinging to what's already leaving, oh, you'll see. You'll finally see that every single thing you thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. You ever notice how people ask for more but complain when they have to carry it? Oh, it's hilarious. They pray for something big, something life-changing, something huge, but the second they feel the weight of it, they start crying. This is too much. This is too hard. Oh, what did they think? That more would come without responsibility? That bigger blessings wouldn't require stronger shoulders? That's the punchline right there. People want miracles, but they don't want to be prepared for them. They want the prize without the process. They want the reward without the refinement, but it doesn't work like that. No. Before life gives you something big, before you step into the next level, you have to be tested. You have to be stretched. You have to prove you can handle it. And most people, oh, they fail right there. Because what does life do? Oh, it starts pressing you. It starts pushing you past your limits. You thought you were tired before? Watch this. You thought you were struggling before? Let's turn up the heat. And it's not because life hates you. It's because life needs to see if you can carry what you're asking for. If you can hold what you claim to be ready for. Because if you can't handle the process, oh, you'll never handle the blessing. That's what people don't understand. They think the struggle is the punishment, but it's actually the preparation. It's the proof. You say you want more. You say you're ready. Oh, let's see. Let's see if you can keep going when it gets uncomfortable. Let's see if you can hold on when everything in you wants to quit. Let's see if you really have what it takes. Because everybody wants more, but not everybody is willing to become more. And oh, people love to fight this part. They love to resist. They whine, they scream. Why is this happening to me? Why is it so hard? But if they knew what was coming, if they understood what was on the other side, they'd welcome the struggle. They'd embrace the pain. They'd realize that every ounce of pressure, every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, every door that slammed in their face, it was all proof that something bigger was about to arrive. See, you don't get diamonds without pressure. You don't build strength without resistance. You don't step into the next level without outgrowing the last one. And outgrowing, oh, that's the painful part. That's where most people break. That's where they say, this is too much. I don't think I can do this. And just like that, they go right back to small, right back to comfortable, right back to a life that's less than what they were meant for. But the ones who make it, the ones who pass the test, they don't waste time complaining about the weight. They train for it. They adjust to it. They don't fight the pressure. They become stronger under it. And when the moment finally comes, when the thing they've been waiting for arrives, they don't drop it. They don't fumble it. Because they've already proven they can carry it. And that's the difference. That's what separates the ones who receive from the ones who retreat. The ones who make it from the ones who miss it. Not the dream, not the potential, not the talent. No, no, no. The only difference is whether they can handle what they asked for.